Wizards PostGame Live.
Early Monday afternoon matchup between the Warriors and Wizards. Of course, the Wizards trying to do like they did last year and beat the visiting team. Unfortunately, tonight did not go their way. A hot hand from Steph Curry allowed the Warriors to walk away with a 127-118 victory. Again, on a Monday afternoon, mind you, in the absence of Bradley Beal. Welcome to PostGame Live. Wes Hall in the perch with Christy Winter. Scott will be joined by Chris, Drew, and Megan momentarily. Throughout this postgame show, we will continue to honor the life and legacy of Dr. King. But first, Christy, as we look at the game that took course today, we've got to talk about what we saw today. This was a close game back and forth. In the fourth quarter, a little bit of separation.
Well, there was a lot of great balance for Washington. On the offensive end, they had 5 players in double figures. I thought that they did a great job defensively. They were trying to contain the three-point line, which they did, but I tell you what, Steph Curry is from another planet because you cannot guard him any better than he was guarded tonight. He was just making incredible shot after shot. But when it comes down to it, Washington's effort was great, but down the stretch, they had that 5-point lead. Yeah. It dissipated down the stretch because they did not finish their great defensive plays with buckets.
And it just turned out to be one of those nights where you look at the shooting for the Wizards tonight. Porzingis gives you 32, Gafford 14, Monte Morris 17. This is in the starting lineup, minus Bradley Beal again. Kuzma, what would some consider would be a bad game for him with 16 points, gave you another double with 11 points. But the Unicorn doing everything that he could. He had 25 in the first half, and again, the added the additional 7 in the second. Christy, what do you make of his game tonight, knowing that he was carrying a load?
Well, he was incredibly efficient, 9 of 15 from the floor, and he got it in a myriad of ways. He wasn't just pulling threes. He was getting downhill, putting the ball on the deck, and attacking the rim and finishing with contact. That's what KP needs to continue to do. He's going to draw a crowd, but he's 7'3". He can just rise and fire and lift up and flick it over everyone else. So his aggression, I think, stands out to me. On the offensive end, you want to have him knocking in those shots. But again, the balance for Washington across the board was fantastic.
Indeed, there were a couple of matchups, I have to admit, where he was guarded by Steph Curry, and I'm like, back him down,
Take him
back him down.
Take him down.
Decided to take a shot, but he's the pro, I'm the talker, and I want to bring in Chris and Drew to get their opinion on this as well. Guys, we talked about the importance of this day to the league and to this nation as players, as people, but the Wizards wanted to walk away today, Drew, with the win.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they did not do that, but they competed. It came down to the last 6 minutes of this ball game when I said, hey, listen, the Warriors, they're about to lock in right now. You're about to see why they're a dynasty and why they've won so much and been in so many different crucial positions throughout the course of this team's history. And you saw it. You saw it in that last 6 minutes how they turned up. They did not turn the ball over. They got the ball in the right man's hands. That was Steph Curry, and he just went off. Him and Jordan Poole combining for 73 points, 13 for 28 from the three-point line. Steph Curry, when you did run him off the line, of the three-point line, he got to the foul line where he only missed one free throw where he was 11 for 12. It was just that fourth quarter, and it just was too much. That last 6 minutes, they did not make any mistakes, and the Wizards, unfortunately, they did.
The Wizards had an 8-point lead, 106-98 with 9:31 remaining in the fourth. After that, the Warriors went on a 29-12 run. Curry, Poole really kind of kept the Warriors going. But Draymond Green really put that championship DNA on display in that fourth quarter to close the game out. There's something that we've noticed here. There's a trend in these last 4 Wizards losses. They've allowed 123.5 points per game. Tonight, they gave up 127. It's on the defensive end, guys. Offensively, they did well enough to win this game.
Chris, one of the things that I think about, too, though, is the difference in style that the Warriors play. We know that they can shoot at a high proficiency. Knocking down threes is what they've made their name on. But it's such a contrast when you look at the Bulls games and the Knicks games where we've seen those kind of be grit and grindy, competitions. Did the Wizards learn something today from facing against the Warriors that they can take moving forward?
I think they got caught tonight. I think you get caught in the way that the Golden State Warriors like to play. I've said this for the last 4 or 5 years. You kind of get seduced into that, like, oh, they're shooting threes. I want to shoot threes too.
I think individually, if you're going to switch bigs on to Steph Curry, they're going to have to push up and force him to be a driver. You cannot. Once you take one step back, he is stepping back for threes. He's not going to the basket. So that's all the setup dribble that I've been seeing with Steph, to set you up defensively, to go backwards on your heels, and he is stepping back and tattooing you with threes. The times that you made it tough on him, you pushed up, rolled his hip, forced him to Porzingis. He got his shot blocked twice and missed the layup. I think if you're going to give yourself a chance, it's hard to stop that man, but if you're going to give yourself a chance, you're going to have to take away those threes as much as possible, and your momentum can't be going backwards on your heels.
Well, if you're going to take away the threes, is it good when you have a guy like Monte Morris put up a couple of threes to try to counteract that? I mean, he had 3 of them himself, Christy.
Absolutely. The balance, again, coming through with Monte Morris. He had 9 assists and 0 turnovers to go along with his 17 points. And that's what he needs to do. That's what the team needs for him to do. They missed his presence in the last game because he's the straw that stirs the drink for the Wizards. He has great games when he takes the ball to the basket, but when he can add the 3-ball to his arsenal, it's just really tough to guard him when he gets downhill and, again, stays aggressive, the same as Kristaps Porzingis. He was intentional with getting to his sweet spots all across the floor on all 3 levels when you're hitting threes, getting to that mid-range with the float game, but he was also getting all the way to the cup and finishing.
You know what I think about, too, guys? We talk about, you know, the proficiency of a Steph Curry and many other guys like that. They didn't have Klay Thompson tonight, but we didn't have Bradley Beal. So when I look at the next matchup against the Knicks, what can we apply from the first time we saw the Knicks, but then switching gears with the Warriors, Drew, now facing New York once again?
Listen, there's going to be some guard play involved. You know that Jalen Brunson is playing at a high level right now, along with Julius Randle. So you're going to have to deal with 2 type of forces. You're going to have to deal having to lock down the perimeter and then having to deal with Julius Randle on isolation situations in that mid-post, being able to score, get you in foul trouble, and facilitate for his teammates. So I'm looking forward to that Kyle Kuzma-Julius Randle matchup, but it's going to come down to that guard play, because don't forget about R.J. Barrett, who's averaging a little under 20 points himself.
I said after the game on Friday that if Bradley Beal can play, now let's see what the Wizards look like whole against this Knicks team. But the one guy that we didn't mention, Mitchell Robinson, also. That matchup between him and Daniel Gafford will be one that I'm going to keep my eye on Wednesday night.
Indeed, a lot to look forward to, guys. We wish we could have let you go with the win today, but we appreciate it. And again, Chris, thank you for your kind words in Wizards pregame live. We really appreciated driving home the importance of this day, the sacrifice and service that Dr. King wished we would all employ. So thank you again, friend.
I'm just honored to be here with you guys talking about basketball on a very significant day.
Appreciate it, guys. Until next time, we'll see you later. Christy, you and I are going to bring in Megan McPeak here in this conversation as well and get her thoughts on the game. Megan, courtside with us. We all witnessed what we saw tonight. Wizards and Warriors going back and forth. But as Chris, Drew, and Christy and I have all said, that 4th quarter, that was separation season.
Yeah, when you look at this Warriors team, I mean, if you are going to get in a shootout with them, you better have just as much in your arsenal as they do. And unfortunately, the Wizards just didn't have enough in the tank to go shot for shot with them. And they put themselves in a situation where you let Steph Curry start to stir that drink, as Christy said, with Monte Morris, the way he stirs the Wizards drink. But Steph was doing it with a lot of space left, and that's the frustrating part when you think of, you know the scouting report, and you know that you've got to give him the cushion because he likes to drive, but as well too, you have to also be there to contest the shot. And I thought there was a couple instances where they respected the drive way too much. And when it comes to Steph Curry, he has made his money from beyond the arc. He has made his money from 25 feet and beyond. He has not made his money under 15 feet. So why not just give him the 2s, as Drew was alluding to throughout the entire broadcast? Give him the 2s. 3s are worth more than 2, so why not give him the 2? But I thought they just allowed him to percolate a little too often tonight.
Yeah, you talk about that effective field goal percentage. Yes, that's what people need to say. Thank you for the pseudo tutorial there on that one, Megan. But Kyle Kuzma, let's talk about it. 40 minutes like you had against the Knicks, but we didn't get 40 points this time. You got 16 points and 11 rebounds and a double-double, and what might seem like an off shooting night for him, Christy.
It was off at the beginning, but what Kyle Kuzma does is always dramatic, right? So towards the end of the game, he got himself in a rhythm. This was at the end of the 1st quarter when he nailed that logo 3, but he got cooking down the stretch when Washington needed buckets, when they needed momentum. Kyle Kuzma was right there cleaning up on the offensive boards, knocking in contested 3s. That's just what he does. He wants those moments. So when you have a Kyle Kuzma not hitting shots early, that's never really a worry, because at the end of the game, when it counts, when it matters, when it's a 2-point, 5-point game. He's a difference maker in those stretches, but it just came down to not getting enough offense down the stretch for Washington as a whole after a very balanced performance across the board by the team.
And let's not be remiss. I mean, I'm not even going to fawn over Golden State at all, but we do have to acknowledge, like you said, Megan, the firepower that they have on their team. You have to be able to match that firepower, and they do not allow for any room to make mistakes. Tonight, the mistakes were made in the fourth quarter, so that with that question in mind, Megan, how can they make the adjustments necessary, whether they face the Warriors, whether they face the Knicks? We haven't even seen Atlanta yet on this season.
Yeah, I think they're going to do what they do every single time. They're going to go to the film. They're going to look at that. They're going to make adjustments and try to be able to be ready for Wednesday. Because at the end of the day, this is, as you know, Chris and Drew talked about, obviously you have to worry about what they can do inside with regards to the Knicks and Randall and Robinson. But you also have to respect what they do from the perimeter, because Jalen Brunson's been putting up numbers. So you can learn something from tonight. And you just saw the Knicks the other night. So you have recency on your side with how you can adjust and make improvements going into the game against the Knicks. But at the end of the day, you have to still work on what you work on. You have to play to your strengths. And I know it seems like it was so long ago, but on that West Coast road trip, and I know Chris mentioned it on broadcast, in the walk-off that I had with Kyle Kuzma, he said we need to stop playing to teams and we need to start making teams adjust to us. And I thought that they did a great job of that in the first half tonight. And for whatever reason, that forcing the Warriors to adjust to them in the second half, it didn't happen the way it was in that first half. I would like to see them do that on Wednesday versus the Knicks team. You saw them recently, so you know what they can do. Make them now adjust to you, and if you can also add Bradley Beal into the mix, that's another adjustment they have to make. I want to see them start making teams consistently, not just here and there, consistently make adjustments to the Wizards and not the other way around.
You know what's crazy when it's all said and done? Looking at the box score from tonight, there's only a 1-point difference between field goal percentage between teams. A 1-point difference percentage-wise between both teams' 3-point shooting. The difference numerically was the 4 more threes that the Warriors had tonight. Megan, don't move. I want to go to Coach Wes Unseld Jr. right now at the post-game podium and get his thoughts on this afternoon.
I mean, it's easy to say make shots. I mean, some of the execution, had some turnovers in that stretch. Big offensive rebound, I think, right before that play, or before that window. 2 big threes that allowed them to kind of open it up a little bit.
Were you happy with your team's offensive possessions in that next 2 minutes?
Not all of them, no. I mean, obviously, the turnover late, it was a big piece, but we knew, I mean, Curry, it's what he does. You know, some of the other guys got going a bit. You know, Poole got going first half, particularly that second quarter. Draymond makes an impact in a lot of ways that don't show up in the box score. You know, just pushing us, up the floor a little bit, disrupting us offensively. And he makes some plays that those other 2 guys aren't on the floor. It probably doesn't bother you quite as much, but you can't have those type plays on top of, the shot making, the 3-point ability of Poole and Curry.
Why do you think KP slowed down in the second half?
Well, I mean, they started to wear on him, and Draymond's, one of the best defenders in the league for a reason. He's just going to kind of keep a body on you. He's very handsy. He just wears you down.
What did you see from Monte in his game back?
Oh, he's pretty good. A nice little stretch there. I believe into the third, beginning of the fourth. It's just it's good to see him out there. I think he does a lot of good things for us, but we just got to get a little bit more.
Just back to KP, and I guess obviously wearing down is a thing, but what can you guys do to get someone who's that on fire in the first half, more touches, more shots?
Well, part of it was how they were guarding him. And they had Looney out there on him. It gives him a little space. And Draymond's not going to give him that space. So, I mean, I want to credit their defense as well. A lot of it is just, pace into what we do, the angles of our screens, and just try to create a little bit more separation for him. It's tough to get him in a post. There's, Draymond's going to root him out. So just get him off of him a little bit, screen him into situations, loosen him up.
Obviously, a couple of the fouls Denny would like back, but I guess where do you think that he maybe struggled a bit tonight?
I mean, it's tough. He's going to guard those smalls. They're really good offensive players. They're going to get the benefit of the whistle. I think it's a learning experience. The more and more he gets comfortable playing with those guys. But I thought he did a decent job. I mean, it's you can argue whether they're fouls or not, but I think more and more the opportunities he gets to play those type of players, he's going to be better for it.
Was it just an off-shooting night for Kuz, or was there something they were doing?
I thought off-shooting, especially in that first half. I'd have to look at all of his shots to be exact, but that first half in particular, I would say, was just probably not his night offensively.
Head coach Wes Unseld Jr. at the post-game podium, but DeLon Wright tonight, 9.7 dimes and 2 steals. We got him mic'd up all night tonight. Exclusive access you will only get on NBC Sports Washington right here on Wizards Postgame Live as we continue to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. Back in a moment on Postgame Live.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Today we're here to recognize Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. His values, his ideas, his passion for change, his passion for equality still stand to this day. On the behalf of the Washington Wizards, the NBA, and everybody on the Washington Wizards team, we thank you guys for coming out. Enjoy the game tonight.
That was Anthony Gill ahead of tonight's game as Martin Luther King III was here inside Capital One Arena to see custom jerseys given to he and his family. Andrea Waters, his wife, and his daughter Yolanda getting a custom Wizards and Warriors jerseys, showing the unity that the entire NBA family has for Dr. King, his family, his life, and his legacy here at Capital One Arena. But another thing that we were able to enjoy tonight was DeLon Wright. We've given you exclusive behind the scenes of Jordan Goodwin mic'd up in practice, Daniel Gafford mic'd up in court. Of course, Corey Kispert, that was fun too. He was talking to the basketball. Well, how about DeLon Wright, of course, enjoying himself tonight on the court?
They say you wired for sound today.
Yeah.
Don't cuss. Don't cuss.
I'm going to try not to.
Are you mic?
Yeah, I'll try to tell everybody. I'm mic'd up. Dance off, me and you. Dance off.
Switch out.
Dance off, me and you. See, it was at warm-up. Yeah. They got me mic'd up. I don't even talk. Mac, how you do this? Tired. On this side, hold up. Who up? Get in. Stay. Listen, man, Kuz. Get back. What is it? What up, my boy? Yo, Kuz. Oh, I got ball. Yo, say ball. Load up. Oh! Stay there. Finally make a shot. I'm trying to find myself, Trying to find my look. I shaved my beard. Let's go, KP. Have a good one. Get out, KP. One leg. Got ball. It's good. We good. Oh! No, that's what I was about to say. No. Yes. No. Okay. Almost. Yeah, Gav, let's go. With a push of pace. Let's go. Good shot. Let's go. 1 through 4, Denny. 1 through 4. Swing. Swings. Yeah, Denny, stay low. Away chase. Come back. Get out, Rui. Oh.
Run over.
I don't know why they have me mocked up. I don't talk. Yeah, he's been screaming the entire game. No. Yes. With those Grinches on his feet. Shut out, DeLon. I know you're watching. Your feet were on fire tonight. Art, first of all, you see the reaction we're all having right now. That tells me that we are happy to see DeLon fully healthy, up and back in motion. Obviously, we wish it was in a win tonight. But, Megan, when you see the energy that he brings, isn't it not a welcome sight for sore eyes to see that this team needs a guy like DeLon Wright in uniform and on court?
Yeah, I think when you look at DeLon and Jordan Goodwin, they both bring that level of energy that's necessary, because you see the level of energy when they both go in the game, it elevates. And it's not just them, it's the entire, lineup that's on the floor with them. So whether it's those two and some shooters, one of them, and some shooters, or we've seen it in the last couple of games now where we see like an all defensive lineup, if you will, go out there, but the level of energy just gets increased, and it's what they bring. And DeLon is no different when he's on the floor and does that. And it's something that you can't teach, that you can't develop, that it's just something that is ingrained in you and you are born with, and you bring that as a player to the game. And it's something that DeLon has actually brought his entire career. I have had the pleasure of seeing DeLon since he was drafted, and you look back his time with the Toronto Raptors when I was there, seeing him grow. That's what he's brought since day one of his NBA career, and it goes back to his college days as well too. You can't teach it. Christy knows, as a former player and a coach, you cannot teach that. You either have that level of energy that trickles throughout the team, or you don't. And DeLon is one of those guys that simply has it.
Right, Megan. And when you're talking about a puppy dog, and if they're not biting as a puppy, they're not going to bite as a grown adult dog. So DeLon was biting as a puppy in college, and now look at him. I mean, he is ravenous on the defensive end. He said he didn't talk, but he was doing all the right talking out there. I mean, you have to have that level of comfort, but it comes from confidence and pride. When you have confidence and pride, it comes through on the defensive end, point blank, period. And I've seen it as a player, I've seen it as a coach, and just watching the game, you know who has it and you know who doesn't, or you know who's developing it. But with DeLon Wright, he brings it, he wears it on his sleeve in a proud manner. And it's not an arrogant manner, but it's a confident manner.
Yes.
And athletes know the difference between the two of those as well. But he is fantastic for this team.
I love it. I love what he does. I love the fact that you
Absolutely.
have DeLon, Monte, and Jordan Goodwin.
Yes.
That's a great guard room to have.
It is.
The energy, the communication, all of it, it works. And we want more of it. But speaking of Jordan Goodwin, oh yeah, I'm not done talking about Jordan Goodwin. We're going to continue to shine light on him as well, because Jordan Goodwin also taking time to celebrate and learn about the legacy and history of Dr. King.
Washington is full of history. You come down here to the mall, learn about the Lincoln Memorial, MLK. Dr. King is leaving little breadcrumbs for us to follow, and if we follow them, we will be a much better nation.
We play a game basketball where it's all different type of races on the court. People had to make that possible, so just coming up here and just not taking it for granted, I'm just taking it all in.
The energy here is magnificent. Just seeing where he stood, just feel the energy. We take it for granted what our grandfathers and grandmothers did for us.
Thank you, Dr. King, for making this possible, and it's definitely a great experience and blessing to play on this day.
Dr. King was in his 30s when he died, and this man was full of knowledge, wisdom, and hope for our country. So when the NBA honors him, it's actually teaching young people about a great man.
Hate for hate only intensifies the existence of hate.
And that is the tragedy of hate.
That it doesn't cut it off.
As our eyes look to the future, we must discover the power of love.
And when we discover that,
we will be able to make of this old world
a new world. Yes, it is love that will save our world.
And our civilization.
Love, even for enemies.
We appreciate the words of our NBA brethren as they share their thoughts on Dr. King using his exact words, quoted such. Megan, Chrissy, because Megan's about to join this conversation. But when we think of Dr. King, to me, it's about more than just words. It's about action and taking sacrifice. And when I actually had a chance to speak to Coach Wes Unseld Jr. earlier this week, I asked him about his way of honoring Dr. King. This is what he had to say.
When you think about the legacy of Dr. King and what he has meant to our world, how do you honor his legacy in your work?
You know, I think it's so much bigger than me. You know, I think the sacrifice that he made, you know, you look at the sacrifices that a generation of people made to make life so much easier for all of us. Sadly, that, you know, I think we overlook those sacrifices because our day-to-day is what we could consider normal. But it was one generation ago where a vast majority of people in this country could not do and go, to certain places, did not have the same liberties and freedoms, protections. The gravity, I think it's very important to not only understand it, to read it and acknowledge it, but to continue that legacy by pushing, certain agendas forward.
In that thought, I think about the other African-American head coaches within the league and the fact that you are one of many, whereas you talked about before, there was a time in the league where it's either player or nothing.
Yeah.
But you're one of a great collaboration of black coaches in the league. How special, do you ever take time to reflect on the fact that you're in that group?
No, you reflect on it, and just one of 30 is one thing, and the fact that being a minority in that role, to your point, a number of years ago that was extremely rare, and to see it now shift means that there's more opportunities, that there's more recognition for people who've earned the right to be in the conversation. I think it's a huge step forward. So I'm hoping that trend continues, because there's a lot of bright basketball minds, a lot of hardworking people who've earned at least the right to be in front of the decision makers and get the opportunities that I'm thankful to have been afforded.
That's head coach Wes O'Neal Jr. giving his thoughts on Dr. King, his life and legacy, and how he honors him in his work. Megan, the floor is yours to share your thoughts and exactly how you feel like you've been able to implement the life and legacy and sacrifice that Dr. King mentions.
It's so interesting, when you think of my situation. I'm not an American. I'm not an American citizen, and yet I still learned in school growing up in Canada about Dr. Martin Luther King and what he stood for and what he still stands for. And I thought what Anthony Gill said ahead of the game, that everything that he fought for, his values and what he wanted, it still is true today, and we are still fighting for that today. And I know I said it in the pregame, but I look at what we all do on a consistent basis, and today's game on Martin Luther King Day, when you have 5 minorities, 5 black sports broadcasters talking about the game of basketball, a predominantly black sport played by black athletes, when you look at the landscape of the NBA today, that's something that he could only dream of. And I'm honored to be working alongside all of you. I'm honored to be working on this day, and I don't take it at all for granted. At the end of the day, you look at what he stood for and the things he said, and as we heard in the piece, he died in his 30s, and I'm in my 30s, and it's crazy to think of how much wisdom he had at such a young age. If he still was alive today, it would be insane to see what he could have done with what he was trying to do, but I'm honored to be part of that legacy, even though I'm not American.
Oh, man. I mean, this day is always powerful, but it is, like Chris Miller said earlier, it's every day that should be full of love. That's why I wore this necklace today, just to remind people that that's what it's all about. When you take a look back at what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did and how bold it was during the time that he did it, it's just amazing to know that he had the confidence to step up and say something, and not only just say something, but to do something. And I think for the greater good of everyone still, the fact that we're still talking about him and the fact that we're still listening to his quotes and living by those words, not just posting it, but living and walking in that purpose that he set forth years ago. How impactful is that? That is, the legacy of his words are still holding true. My parents marched, and I took my kids to march at the Juneteenth event with the Wizards and the Mystics. My generation, or me, and maybe I'm just speaking about me, I'm the sandwich generation. I didn't do the marching. My parents did it. My teenage kids wanted to march, and it empowered me to go out and utilize my voice in a stronger manner. But it's all because of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s initiative and the confidence that he set forth, and then many followed even to this day to utilize their voices. It's bigger than basketball. It's bigger than us sitting here as broadcasters. It's the utilization of the confidence of being a human being and being respected as such. When you have that respect of others, that's love. Love is a verb. Love and compassion come easy when you understand that we're more alike than we're not alike as human beings. And I think when we discover what that notion actually is, then we can walk in peace. It's hard to walk in peace when you see the inequalities, especially you and I, Megan, as black women. There's so many inequalities just from the outside of us, but the inside of us, the quality of the character of us, that's what we should live by. And that's what I, as a mom, is trying to teach my kids, and it's just generational.
Yeah.
And the understanding of that needs to carry on.
It does. And for me, it comes down to who the person of Dr. King is. I know we hear the branded language of the life and legacy. Well, what about the life of a man born January 15th, the same day as my mother? That's why I'm such a fan of Dr. King, just as the historical person of who he was. Went to college at 15 years old. Morehouse College in Atlanta, the same place where he was raised. An ordained minister. Remember, most people say Dr. Martin Luther King. He is Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Absolutely.
When you think about a young man who's been incarcerated 29 times in the face of all the adversity that has already been aforementioned. To put it in perspective, when he was assassinated at 39 years old, who's 38 years old playing in the NBA right now? LeBron James. To put age into perspective, when you think about impact and time given. His speech in front of the Lincoln Memorial, that was not his first speech in that location. However, over 250,000 people came to see him and witness him speaking that day. Yes. You think about H. Rap Brown, you think about Ralph Abernathy, you think about Reverend Harold Middlebrook, so many other people that walked alongside him. When you see the Stone of Hope on your screen right there, that was erected, and revealed in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. And think about so many things that have happened since 2011. You think about so many things that have happened since 1968 and on and on and on. The work is not done, but it does take all of us moving beyond words shared on social media.
Yes.
Moving beyond nice, sweet words said on television. It's the action, day in and day out, willing to take the sacrifice that is necessary to accomplish the outcome that we all seek and desire. And I appreciate having the opportunity to share my thoughts as well as all of us here on the show. So thank you. But right now I want to move back to basketball briefly and hear from from Kyle Kuzma, who acts like a coach sometimes at the post-game podium.
It was really tough. We had some rough possessions. We had some possessions defensively where we kind of fell asleep. There was one where we left Draymond under the rim and he had a layup. We kind of just imploded a little bit, and there's a couple of things that just didn't go our way. It was really challenging to overcome. So.
What did you see from Monte?
He had a solid game. He was in attack mode. He did a great job of just playing at his pace, and he got other guys involved with his assist numbers.
Up until those last 3 minutes, you guys really were able to answer the bell every time you had to offensively. I know you're not a moral victory guy, but did it give you any peace of mind knowing that you guys could do that offensively?
We fought pound for pound, and then it was just very, very tough at the very end. Some things just didn't go our way. It's really, really tough. I really hope that the officiating crew, they really, look at the level and integrity that they had tonight, and they do better next round. So.
I'm not trying to get you in trouble.
All right. Saturday, January 21st. We've got a very special day for you. It's basketball day in the DMV. We've got high school boys and girls games broadcast on NBC Sports Washington and Monumental Sports Network, all ahead of the Wizards taking on the Magic right here in Capital One Arena. So make sure you are ready. Coverage starts at 10:30 in the morning on Saturday, January 21st for basketball day in the DMV. On the other side, we're jumping into the film room with Christy Winter-Scott.
Watch out now.
Welcome back to Wizards Post-Game Live after the matchup against the Warriors. Guess what? If you happen to slide by PapaJohns.com, you can get 50% off regular menu price pizzas at PapaJohns.com. Why? Because the Wizards scored 115 or more points. 118 was what we put up tonight. 127 to 118 was the final score. But tomorrow, half off regular menu price pizzas. That's awesome. What about some film room and talk about some Jordan Goodwin, Christy?
It's time to look at what Goody did this afternoon. Watch, defensively, he's going to square up right there and just lock in defensively and then get him to pick up the ball. Jordan Poole doesn't have anywhere to go. Dead, 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 that's what you say. And now you get the deflection. And now Jordan Goodwin can go the other way. He's going to split the wickets and attack the rim, get tagged, and get the and one. And watch when he gets up. Ooh, he's going to swell up on you. He's going to swell up on you and take pride in his defense, paying off on the other side.
I love the energy that he brings.
Yes.
I just absolutely love it. But I would be remiss if I didn't take advantage of the fact that I got you here with me tonight. I say we do another film room, and this time we're going to talk about the unicorn. Go ahead.
Run it back.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, Monte Morris, he had 10 assists and just 1 turnover, and this one goes to Kristaps Porzingis. 9 feet behind the line, Bip, all cash. You love their connection. I love their two-man game. Again, a little pitch to Kristaps Porzingis from Monte Morris. And then Deni Avdija is going to just curl back out and create the space. See the eyeballs of Kristaps? He sees Deni, but he also sees the defense of Steph Curry dragged out there and allowed for him to take that shot. And this is what I love best about Kristaps. Again, from Monte Morris. Look at all the defenders here. They look like cones. Somehow Kristaps finds a seam, creates contact, and gets the and one in the paint. And watch on defense right here. You're going to see him push off with that left foot, and that's going to allow him the momentum at 7-3 to get back and gate that shot and get a nice block. And Monte Morris's toe was right on the line. His brother said, yeah, you were out. You were out. You pulled that foot back in.
That moment had us all
cute.
like, wait a second. Wait, he wasn't out. He
I was
wasn't
like,
out.
nah. And then his brother was like, yeah, you did that.
It's like, it's something real when even your own family's like, yeah, bro, you stepped out of bounds, bro. You know what I want to do right now? I want to take a look at our FanDuel best bets from earlier tonight. These are the things that bring me joy because I always lie to myself and say, I was thinking that. Well, how about if you came in tonight and said Kristaps Porzingis is going to have 30 or more points at plus 400, a $10 bet would have won you $40. Monte Morris, 8 or more assists at plus 550. A $10 bet would have won you $55. But when I think about the unicorn, Megan, the guy is a walking double-double. I had asked you this a couple of games ago. Have we gotten spoiled? I'm going to say yes, but what else can he bring? Let's not just be so coy and casual with it.
I think his passing ability, it's somewhat underrated. We don't think it's underrated from a standpoint of we see it on a consistent basis, but I don't think from a national level that fans are used to seeing his ability to pass the ball, the way he can facilitate, the way he finds guys. Christy did a great job demonstrating in that film room with him. He has the ability, as you know, to stretch the floor and knock down the shot. But when guys are defending him, especially when he gets in the post area, he has the ability and the vision and the IQ to find his teammates, especially find them in the right areas when they're cutting to the basket or they're getting a spot-up shot. It's his passing ability that I think is so underrated on a national level. We're just spoiled by it because we see it on a nightly basis. We see it on a consistent basis. That is an area where I think he's still growing from the standpoint of when teams are doubling him. And that was something Coach Unseld said in his pregame presser is, obviously as of late, he has struggled a little bit when he gets doubled. And I thought the Knicks did a really good job of doubling him and blitzing him. And now he's figuring out how he can pass out of those doubles and blitzes, where his angles are. That's the biggest thing. It's not just being able to pass out of the doubles and the blitzes. It's knowing the exact angle and the moment of when to pass it. And I think that's where the growth is really happening. Not that he can't do it. It's just now that he knows guys are doubling him and where the double is coming from, then having the wherewithal to get it out at the right moment, find the right angle to get it to his teammates. The angle is very key when it comes to passing out of a double team, excuse me.
Right, and against New York, Megan, that blitz was coming from the baseline, and it was a little bit different for him because he was looking for that lob, so we'll see if they can self-correct that next time on Wednesday.
That's what about adjustments. That's what the game is all about. And matter of fact, we're probably going to hear from Kristaps right now, probably mentioning adjustments.
Made it a lot more physical, make me work for every basket, kind of what a lot of teams have been doing. And I think I had some more opportunities, just timing was a bit off maybe on getting the ball to me or in those situations, but yeah, if my switches and my activity, even if I'm not getting the ball, opens things up for my teammates, then I'm happy. You know, I just like to be field utilized, and that's, you know, if we're playing good basketball, I'm all about it. And first half was like that. Second half a bit more different, but overall, yeah, a good game individually.
What was it like down the stretch trying to get stops and close this game?
Yeah, Steph is special. One of the most special players I think we've ever seen, and the shots that he's capable of making, and some big offensive rebounds from Draymond, and Poole was, you know, doing his thing. So all those guys they're special players, and they made this game fun to watch for the fans, I think, and they did what was necessary for them to win the game, and they have that championship DNA and mentality, and it looked like, you know, it was our game, but they turned it on in the end, and Steph is obviously clutch and made big shots and took the game away from us.
They're defending you physically, especially in the second half. I know you're happy with your fitness and everything, it's not a physicality thing, but what's the solution there as a team? What can you guys do to kind of help you out a little bit?
Yeah, I think maybe getting me a bit more open, so everything is not hard for me. Every action is hard, every contact, every time I have to get somewhere, it's contact. Just opening me up a little bit, maybe more in movement, more movement and stuff. And then yeah, you know, it's some games I've done it where, again, I start the second half, get a couple fouls, and then I feel like I'm going downhill in a good way, where things start to go well for me, and boom, and they don't want to foul now, so I'm getting open looks and things like that. So, but they did a good job. They did a good job second half, really physical, and you know, I wasn't able to be as involved or as, you know, as aggressive.
Where have you guys progressed? We've talked about these types of losses before, back in Miami a long time ago, where you're right there until the end. Do you guys feel like you're getting better at that, and this closing out games, and this was just an off night, or how do you assess that?
Good question. I don't know. We have a lot of tough losses, honestly, this season. A lot of close ones. Even as I said before, in that 10-game losing streak, we had so many close ones. You know, that it was like, man, just. Yeah, losses keep adding up, you know, and it does feel a bit like that again today. But yeah, what can we do? We have to keep working, keep getting better, keep fixing our mistakes, seeing if we can turn that. And I think like Chicago game, we pulled out the win. What happened? What was after Chicago? We lost. New York. We came back and we fell short, but that was our fault because we just let the game slip a little bit earlier on. And then tonight we're there the whole time, but they were just better in the end. So yeah, I think experience. Like we need to calm down. Late game, and yeah, no stress. We have to sooner or later we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. We just don't have best player. We're playing with what we have, and we're almost there. So yeah, it's not, maybe the record is not looking great, but I believe we will get there.
I want to remind everybody right now, new customers can get $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. So download the FanDuel app now and start making every moment more. Well, as we talk about our celebration of Dr. King today, earlier tonight there was a pregame panel hosted about the legacy of Dr. King, discussing how individuals can have their voices heard, what justice means to them, and the role that it plays today, and of course, how they can impact their local communities. There's Megan McPhee. Well, looky there. Family, doing service.
I love it.
Doing the work. That's what it's all about as we continue to celebrate the life, legacy, and vision of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. here on NBC Sports Washington. Welcome back to PostGame Live, taking a look at our bold predictions brought to you by Greenberg & Better. Remember, gblawyers.com. Our prediction was Corey Kispert making more than 5 threes and hitting 50% or better. 5 5 attempts, only 25%. The crew got it wrong. Shame on you, crew. Again, our bold predictions brought to you by Greenberg and Betterman. Go to gblawyers.com and feel better. But now, let's look ahead down the schedule to Wednesday, 7 p.m. We want you right here for the Wizards taking on the Knicks one more again. And oh, by the way, we're rocking those cherry blossom jerseys, so be properly adorned. Christy, before we let people go, give me a quick thought on how the Wizards get a win against the Knicks.
Take good care of the basketball. They have Monte Morris back. Didn't have him last time. So let's see that. 10 assists, 1 turnover from Monte today. They'll have that in their pocket.
I like that. Megan, same question to you.
Hey, bring the pain, bring the physicality to them. Don't let them dictate it. They brought the physicality the other game. Let's bring it back.
Indeed, and may we all not forget about what today is all about. Taking the life, the legacy, and vision of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King and putting it into action. Words are nice, but as Christy said earlier, the word love is a verb. We'll see you next time. On behalf of Christy Winterscott, Megan McPeak, I am Wes Hall for our great crew here at NBC Sports Washington. Have a great night. We'll see you next time for Wizards Pregame Live.